Most people assume building an emergency kit is expensive. That assumption is one reason many homes have no real kit at all. But when you look at what emergency agencies actually recommend, the list is surprisingly ordinary. Water, light, information, first aid,
Beans,
basic
10,
food access,
peas, 6.
backup charging,
Wait, 1, 2,
and
3,
something
4,
that
5,
helps
6.
protect you
Yep,
from cold.
6. Carrots, 3.
None of those categories requires a $400 survival backpack. And that creates the first question in this file. If you had less than $20 to spend today, which single purchase would remove the biggest weakness in your emergency plan? I checked current Walmart.com listings and found 7 items priced below $20 at the time of research. Prices and availability can change by location, seller, and promotion, so verify them before buying. But this is not a shopping list based on what looks tactical. Each item has to solve a real problem. Lighting when the grid is down, water when normal access becomes uncertain, food preparation without electricity, information when internet service becomes unreliable, basic first aid, backup phone power, and protection from cold or exposure. If you want more practical preparedness files like this, subscribe now. Leave a like so this reaches people who need it, and comment which budget prepper item should be tested next. The first piece of evidence costs less than a fast food meal. Number 7, a manual can opener. Walmart currently lists the Mainstays black manual can opener from about $3.97. That sounds almost too simple to qualify as prepper gear. It is not. Ready.gov includes a manual can opener in its basic emergency supply recommendations for households storing canned food. Think about why. A power outage can remove the electric opener instantly. An evacuation can leave you away from the kitchen, and a pantry full of canned food becomes much less useful if the only opener in the house requires electricity. This is exactly the kind of weakness people discover after buying more expensive equipment. They own lanterns, they own batteries, they own food. Then one $5 tool becomes the difference between stored calories and accessible calories. A manual opener is small enough to keep one in the kitchen and another in a vehicle or evacuation kit. And unlike many pieces of specialized gear, you can test it every week. That matters. Emergency equipment should not introduce a new skill during the emergency. If your family regularly uses the item, you already know whether it works. But the can opener reveals the first pattern in this list. Cheap gear becomes valuable when it removes a single point of failure. Number 6, an emergency blanket. An Ozark Trail emergency survival blanket has recently appeared on Walmart.com from roughly $4.78, with other blanket versions also listed below $20. The American Red Cross includes emergency blankets among its recommended emergency supplies. Again, the object looks almost too basic. A thin, reflective blanket does not replace proper winter clothing, a sleeping bag, or a heated shelter. That is not its job. Its value is weight and availability. It can live inside a car, a backpack, a desk drawer, a small emergency kit. If you become stranded in a disabled vehicle, lose heat during an outage, or need an additional barrier against wind and cold, having something compact is better than discovering that every warm blanket you own is at home. There's another use people overlook. Emergency gear is often separated by category: home kit, vehicle kit, work kit. The cheapest pieces on this list are useful because you can afford to duplicate them. One expensive piece of equipment stored in the basement does nothing for you when the emergency happens 40 miles away. That opens the second question. Why do people spend most of their preparedness budget on sophisticated gear while leaving cheap, boring gaps everywhere else? We'll come back to that. Number 5, a large water container. At the time of research, Walmart listed the American-made 5-gallon stackable water bottle at approximately $13.48. This is where preparedness stops being about gadgets. The Red Cross recommends planning around 1 gallon of water per person per day, with at least a 3-day supply for evacuation and a larger supply for home preparedness. A 5-gallon container does not purify contaminated water. It does not magically create water. What it gives you is storage capacity, and capacity changes behavior. A household can own filters, purification tablets, and camping equipment and still have almost no water physically stored when service stops. That's backwards. Treatment solves questionable water. Storage solves having water immediately. Those are different problems. 5 gallons is also heavy. Filled completely, a container is not something every person can comfortably move. So this is not an argument for buying one giant container and calling the problem solved. Several manageable containers can be more practical than one massive tank. The important point is to calculate storage against the people in the household. A family of 4 should not look at 5 gallons and think, we have plenty. Count days, count people, include pets, then decide what capacity you actually need. This is where most people stop looking, and that's the mistake. They shop for survival products. They do not calculate survival quantities. Number 4, budget LED lanterns. Walmart has recently listed a 3-pack of Ozark Trail LED camping lanterns with batteries from approximately $19.96. Ready.gov and the Red Cross both place flashlights or battery lighting on their basic emergency lists. A lantern solves a slightly different problem than a flashlight. A flashlight concentrates light where you point it. A lantern gives a room usable illumination while leaving your hands free. During a blackout, that distinction becomes obvious. You need both hands while preparing food, checking a breaker panel, organizing medication, helping a child, looking through supplies, or moving around a dark room. One lantern can illuminate the kitchen while a flashlight remains available for movement. A 3-pack also introduces redundancy. Put one in the main emergency kit, one near the bedroom, one somewhere else you can reach without crossing a completely dark house. And check the batteries before storm season. A flashlight that worked 2 years ago is not proof that the batteries inside it are still ready tonight. The cheapest light source becomes expensive if you have to find it in the dark. Number 3, a first aid kit. A first aid only comprehensive 260-piece all-purpose emergency kit has recently been listed on Walmart.com from about $17.88. The Red Cross and Ready.gov both include a first aid kit among basic emergency supplies. The number of pieces sounds impressive, but don't buy a first aid kit because it says 260 pieces. Open it, inspect it, know what's actually inside. Large piece counts can be dominated by bandages, wipes, and small components. The real question is whether the kit covers the minor problems your household is most likely to handle before professional care is available. Cuts, scrapes, minor burns, minor wounds, basic dressing. Then customize it. If someone in your household needs specific medications or medical supplies, a generic kit does not replace them. If you wear glasses, use a hearing aid, manage allergies, or rely on prescription medication, preparedness has to reflect the people who actually live in the house. The first aid kit is the base layer, not the finished system. This is also why location matters. A single kit stored at home doesn't cover your car. A vehicle kit doesn't cover your workplace. You don't have to build all 3 today. Build one usable kit, then expand. But knowing the rule is not enough. You need to know when the rule fails. Buying 7 inexpensive products doesn't make someone prepared if the products are scattered, untested, discharged, empty, or impossible to reach. And that brings us to the next item.
Preparation becomes much stronger when stored gear is backed by systems you can maintain at home. The Self-Sufficient Backyard is a practical guide to food production, water, preservation, and off-grid projects. Use the link in the description to explore it. Now, back to the 7 items.
Number 2, a portable power bank. Walmart recently listed an ON 20,000 milliamp hour portable power bank at approximately $17.88. Other models and sale prices vary, so the exact listing should always be checked before purchase. The Red Cross specifically recommends a cell phone with chargers, and its power outage guidance includes a portable power bank among useful supplies. This is not about keeping social media running. Your phone can become your flashlight, map, contact list, camera, weather information source, emergency alert receiver, and communication link. When the power disappears, the phone battery becomes a countdown. A power bank buys time. But capacity numbers alone do not tell you exactly how many full phone charges you will receive. Conversion losses, phone battery size, cable efficiency, temperature, and whether you use the phone while charging all affect the result. So do not build your plan around a marketing number. Test the actual device with the actual phone you own. Charge the bank completely. Charge your phone from it. See what happens. Then recharge the bank. An empty 20,000 milliamp hour power bank is a plastic brick. Build a schedule for checking it. Every few months, before hurricane season, before a major winter storm, before a road trip. Preparedness that is never maintained slowly turns back into unpreparedness. This brings us back to where we started. Which under $20 item removes the biggest weakness in an emergency plan? Before answering, there is one item left, and it solves something the others cannot. Number 1. An emergency weather radio. One current Walmart listing for the Gradio hand crank emergency radio has appeared around $15, while other NOAA-capable hand crank radios are listed in roughly the $16 to $19 range. Prices in this category move frequently, and some listings may be third-party marketplace sellers, so confirm the seller, current price, and specifications before ordering. Why put the radio at number 1? Because every other item on this list helps you manage a problem you already know exists. The radio helps you understand what the problem actually is. The Red Cross specifically recommends a cell phone with chargers, and its power outage guidance includes a portable power bank among useful supplies. During a major outage, cellular networks can become congested. Internet service may disappear when home routers lose power. Phone batteries become something you need to conserve. A radio gives you another information path. Weather warnings, evacuation instructions, shelter information, restoration information, emergency messages, and if the model provides hand crank or alternative charging, it introduces another layer of redundancy. But this is where you need to read the listing carefully. Not every cheap radio has the same capabilities. AM/FM is not the same thing as NOAA weatherband reception. Receiving a weatherband is not necessarily the same thing as having automatic weather alerts. Some devices include power bank functions, but a small internal battery should not be treated like a dedicated high-capacity charger. Know what you are buying. Test reception where you live. Learn the controls before the emergency. Put the radio somewhere everyone in the household knows, and store whatever batteries it requires. The best emergency radio is not the one with the longest feature list. It is the one you can turn on in darkness and immediately get useful information. The first loop can now be closed. If you have less than $20, which purchase removes the biggest weakness? There is no universal answer. If you have no stored water, buy water capacity before buying another gadget. If you have food but no manual opener, solve that. If your house has no battery lighting, fix the darkness problem. If your medical kit is from 10 years ago that has never been opened, inspect and replace it. If your phone is your only communication tool, add backup power. If you cannot receive emergency information without internet access, add a radio. Preparedness is not a ranking of products, it is a ranking of your own vulnerabilities. And that closes the third loop. What matters more than the number of pieces of gear you own? Coverage. You are not trying to own every survival product. You are trying to prevent one missing category from collapsing the rest of your plan. A household with $5,000 of camping equipment and no stored water has a water problem. A household with a pantry full of cans but no manual opener has an access problem. A household with rechargeable electronics and no method to recharge them has a power problem. A household with information entirely dependent on one smartphone has a communication problem. This is why a budget can actually improve the way you prepare. When money is limited, every purchase has to answer a question. What failure does this solve? Where will I keep it? Who knows how to use it? What does it depend on? When did I last test it? If you cannot answer those questions, the price doesn't matter. There is also a warning attached to the word Walmart. A product being listed there does not make it automatically good emergency gear. Marketplace sellers exist. Sale prices change. Stock changes. Specifications change. Read the description, check the seller, compare reviews carefully, verify dimensions and battery requirements, and don't buy an item merely because a video called it survival gear. The ancient record goes silent here, but the lesson remains. You do not need to build your entire emergency kit this weekend. Start with the category where failure would hurt you first. Spend $5, then $15, then $20. Test what you buy. Place it where you can reach it. Add the next missing category when your budget allows. 7 inexpensive items will never replace water, food, planning, skills, medications, or a household emergency plan. But they can remove 7 surprisingly common weaknesses. Preparedness does not begin when you can afford everything. It begins when you stop leaving the same small problems unsolved.